Just now you realize that there are a lot of bear traps placed around the cabin, and it was difficult for you to identify them because they were covered by the snow. The unstoppable pain makes you fall towards the snow in front of you. Oh my god! Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are playing a game called Bloody Painter Dating Sim. This is a visual novel and it has something to do about a serial killer, which is kind of strange because there seems to be a multitude of different visual novels that we will be playing on the channel over the coming days that include this type of thing. So I'm assuming there must be a game jam. This one in particular seems interesting, and I am intrigued to see what it's about, so let's just check it out. Oh, ugh. With a severe headache, you wake up in an unfamiliar place. As you touch the bruise on the back of your head, it seems you were hit by something heavy before you lost consciousness. Heavy iron chain tied around your feet. Oh, someone has trapped you here. You try to remember what happened before you lost consciousness, but you can't recall anything. Let's investigate the surroundings first. Oh, there's a cell phone? Wall? The room is surrounded by 4 walls without any windows. It's weirdly cleaned up and no ashes or sand can be seen. Looks like a prison built by a germaphobe. Cell phone. No signal. Why would the serial killer give you your telephone? I suppose he knew there would be no signal, but still. I might be in a remote place or underground. Where to investigate next? Mattress. There's a mattress on the floor. The mattress feels really hard to lie on. Where to investigate next? That's not really much. A meal. Near the door, there's a serving of spaghetti with tomato sauce and a bottle of water. No! It's... Why? Yes, it's spaghetti and tomato sauce, but it's called bolognese. Why are you saying... I don't know what it is about bolognese, but I've played so many games where it's like meatballs and pasta, or, you know, bolognese as a horror thing. It's lovely. I don't know what people have an issue with it for. Around, also a round plastic fork that's completely harmless was thoughtfully attached. It's still warm. It feels like it was sent here not long ago. Where to investigate next? Door. You peek through the keyhole, but you see nothing outside. I wonder where I am. Where to investigate next? Nowhere. End. Yes. What's the next move? See, I think yelling for help is probably stupid. This guy seems to have done his thing. He's very clean. You know, this isn't just some kind of idiotic move to go for. I think... Let's listen. You can't hear any sound other than your own breathing. The soundproofing in this room seems particularly good. Exactly, so yelling for help is useless. Knock over the meal. See, now, I don't want to antagonize him either. I think it'd be a really stupid... Okay. I think it'd be a really stupid thing, so let's just sleep. You lay on the bed. You tried to sleep under this condition. Maybe it's the fatigue caused by nervousness, but you still fall asleep. Huh? What? You open your eyes after hearing some noises. Hi. A tall man wearing a mask is squatting on the ground and looking at you with his head tilted. His head isn't tilted. He remains silent as if he's sizing up his prey. He points to the plate on the floor, like indicating that you should finish your meal quickly. Thinking that the strange man might have poisoned the meal, you shake your head in fear. Seeing you have no intention of eating, he looks quite distressed.
You can't die.
Oh, we got a voice actor for this. Okay.
Not now.
He slowly speaks with a deep and steady voice.
The freezer is full.
With body parts? What does that mean?
The freezer is full, and there's no space for more. 7 days.
He pauses and thinks.
There won't be space until 7 days later. If you die now, you'll rot.
What do you mean? So I only have 7 days left to live? He nods and walks out of the door. Wait, you can't just leave me here like this, please. Your cries can't stop the door from closing. Day 1, let's investigate the surroundings first. See, now, like, do you know what? I don't know what I would do in this position, right? Yeah, but considering he is literally trying to fatten you up, right? He said the freezer is full for 7 days. So clearly he is a cannibal, right? By the instigation of that, he doesn't want us to rot, because then that means that he wouldn't get his meal. So, as a stubborn prick as I am, I would literally starve myself to death. Just saying. Just saying. I would make it such a goddamn inconvenience for this prick, right? Trust me. Yeah, no, like, okay, let's just investigate. Like, you know, where else can we do? Meal. A bread and a bottle of water. Door. You peek outside from the keyhole. You see the shadow of a man walking around. Seems to be busy with something. What is he doing? Mattress. Sleep to the end of the day. Wasn't a great investigation. Please try to improve your survival rate within 7 days. Heh. Let's investigate and look around. Meal. Empty plate. Door. You check the keyhole. You seem to see something. You see that there is a vague figure at the end of the door. So observe quietly. You sense something wrong and realize that this is after narrowing your eyes. Oh. This is an artwork made of a human body, not a human being. Ah! You hear the door open. You slowly push the door, and there is no trace of the strange man. First, you go into the room with a large freezer, sink, and operating table. Then you open another heavy door. You find yourself in a room full of glass display jars. The jars are all filled with specimens made from human body parts. It's like you're in an art museum. Could it be that he wanted to freeze me as material for specimen artwork? You're thinking. You're seeing this scene. Right. In any situation, running is always a bad situation with this. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't escape. I'm saying that running creates panic. Panic creates messy decisions. So, and I'm not going to admire his artwork. I'm just going to say fuck. What the hell are these sick stuff? So disgusting. You say all the curse words you can think of in your life. You raise your fist and smash it against the glass cabinet, but stop just before your fist hits it. Your wrist is grabbed by someone. Before you realize it, the man is already standing behind you.
The last thing I welcome is an uneducated person like you.
You feel a twinge in your abdomen, and then the red warm liquid flows out. Okay. He kills you and he cleans up the scene carefully. After dissolving... Right, new save. No, this useless saving by here. I will make that decision next time. After dissolving you with strong acid, he buries you in the garden. Bad ending, 6/2. You're not even good enough to be material. Fuck you, bro! Okay, he didn't really give me good options there. Like, I want to check all of these options, so I don't know where they lead to, so run away. You look for a door to escape everywhere, but just can't find any. With an idea, you lie on the wall and start taping, trying to find if there is a hidden secret passage. Just when you're tapping, someone covers your face with a small towel from behind. You pass out after struggling for 2 to 3 minutes. You're back in the small room when you wake up and the door is locked. There is no such chance ever again after that. You can only eat the meal he sends every day and wait for the 7th day to come. Bad ending, lamb to the slaughter. Ah, okay. So, I know what the next option is. If we admire the artwork, he might take a liking to us. Possibly. So let's admire it. You look around and admire his work with relish. You look at them for 15 minutes straight.
Interesting.
You hear a voice coming from the corner. Turns out the man has been watching you from a blind spot behind the glass cabinet. I like them. They're so beautiful. The man goes silent with his head tilted for a couple of seconds after hearing your comment. He seems to be thinking about something.
Don't you consider it cruel or bloodthirsty to them?
No, I feel nothing at all.
You're such a weirdo.
So are you, bro. Don't call me a weirdo. You're the one that done it. You think, aren't you talking about yourself? After you have a tour in his display room, he locks you back in a small room you were in. You go to sleep to end the day. So the survival rate increases. So this is more of an admiring way. Okay, I'm going to go with this. Like, I don't know if it'll give me an option at the end to give a chance to be able to try and take him out. But I think possibly to create that situation. Maybe until noon you don't see breakfast or lunch being delivered. You're already starving. You are waiting for him to bring dinner, but what you get is not dinner. Instead, you hear the door was opened. A light shines through the crack of the half-open door, looking like an intriguing invitation. You open the door and walk into the light. You first arrive at the room with an operating table outside of the door. But this time, the operating table is not empty. There's a defrosted human corpse on it. The man pops out of somewhere. He unties the iron chains from your feet and hands the surgical knife in his hands to you.
First, where do you think the first cut should be?
His voice tone sounds cold, like the kind of teacher who gives students hard questions on purpose. Right. Okay, so I feel like this is a stupid one, but this is why I'm gonna save. Because I think that's a good opportunity to save. How do I save? Oh, okay, just save. I'm gonna go with a logical one. I don't think it's gonna work. When I mean that we pounce at it, like, it needs to be, he is completely, like, understanding that he is in a situation that we will not hurt him, and then we hurt him. But he's expecting this. But You turn around quickly and try to stab him with the surgical knife. Told you. But he seems to already know you would do that and holds you down
You were
quickly.
indeed pretending.
He locks you back in the small room you were in. There is no such chance ever again after that. You can only eat the meal he sends every day and wait for the 7th day to come. Smart ass. To be fair, I expected it. I expected it. See, now if we say we can't do it, we're gonna get a very similar ending. Let's stab the corpse. Maybe beautiful works always come with some sacrifices. Without hesitation, you stab the abdomen of the corpse with the knife. But due to lack of professionalism, the lines you cut are crooked and ugly. And this is when he gets close behind your back and holds your hand. Jesus, is this starting to turn into a romance? That's disturbing. You're both holding the surgical knife, like you two are cutting a cake together. With his hand, the lines you cut become smooth and clean. You can smell an ocean perfume on him due to how close you are. It seems to be sprayed to cover up the smell of formalin. You can feel his warmth with your back, but his fingers are too cold. He's focusing on cutting the corpse and your hand keeps moving under his. He could have killed you or ignored you, but he didn't. You start to speculate on the purpose of his behaviors. Could it be that he wants someone who can ignore the cruelty in process and understand him? You think. After the happy creative time ends, you're locked in the room you were in. You go to sleep to end the day. Day 4, noon. Nothing about my survivability there. Until noon, you don't see breakfast or lunch being delivered. You're already starving. You notice that something is shining in the corner. At the corner. A key? It seems like the man accidentally dropped it last night. You open the door with the key. You go past the operating table where you two spent creative time together last night. The display room. Then you discover that there are natural, uneven marks from one wall to the corner. You find a trapdoor. After pushing the trapdoor, you see a normal basement storage room. At the corner of the storage room, you see a stair that goes up. It turns out that this is really an underground secret room, hidden layer by layer with trapdoor. No wonder the sound insulation is so good. You walk up the stairs and see a heavy wooden board. You push it hard. What catches your eye is the interior of a cozy cabin. Then you realize the heavy wooden board you just pushed is the back of a bookcase. You look around and find that there is an insect specimen everywhere in the cabin. And there is also a reindeer head specimen hanging on the wall. Then you walk into the living room. You see a young man with a handsome face and pale skin lying on the sofa. The ocean-scented perfume and the faint smell of formalin emanates from his body. It's him. He is the masked man who kidnapped you. But he is not wearing a mask at this time. His sleeping face has a ferocious expression. His neck is sweating and he seems to be trembling. It looks like he's sick. At this time you decide to save. That's what I decide to do at this point, bruh. But I'm gonna take the opportunity to escape. Makes more sense. If you don't run away now, then when? You open the door and find a forest with heavy snow outside. You remember why you came here. You were traveling alone. In the evening, your car hit a deer on the forest road and then stalled. With no cell phone signal in the deep mountains, you walked on the road for 30 minutes until it got dark. Then you saw the lights of a cabin in the forest and decided to ask the occupants for help. That's when you witnessed that scene. You witnessed a man wearing a mask dragging a corpse into the cabin, and unfortunately you were discovered by the man. He ran wildly on the mountain road, but the man was more familiar with the terrain than you were, and he quickly got in front of you and knocked you out. Then, when you opened your eyes, you were in the underground secret room. But this time, the man fell ill on the couch and there is no one to stop you. You cross the gate with confidence, but after you only take a few steps, a sharp pain hits your calf and you look down at the blood-red stain on the snow. Just now you realize that there are a lot of bear traps placed around the cabin, and it was difficult for you to identify them because they were covered by the snow. The unstoppable pain makes you fall towards the snow in front of you. Oh my god! As more bear traps are triggered, you are no longer you. You are an unrecognizable piece of flesh. Oh! The snow is dyed even brighter red, and you can only wait for the wolves to eat up your remains. Beware of the traps. Bruh! Can't bear to leave him alone, so you reach out and touch his forehead. Whoa, so hot. You try to find something that can cool him down. Let's investigate. Living room. The living room is spotlessly clean. Where to investigate next? Jeez! Okay, sofa. You don't think it's good for a patient to sleep on the sofa, but you can't move him with your strength. Where to investigate next? Specimens. It feels like he did them all. The workmanship of these specimens is exquisite. Where to investigate next? Photo frame. There's a photo frame on the shelf. It's a photo of him standing at the entrance of a judicial mental hospital with a man in a doctor's robe. Where to investigate next? Shelf. Cocoa powder? There is a jar of cocoa powder and a cup on it. Let's make him a cup of cocoa. Where to investigate next? No, I want to go back to the shelf because there was a lockbox. There's a lockbox with a combination lock on the shelf. Okay, so we don't know the combination. Where to investigate next? Bookcase. You find some of his profile files in the bookcase. Name Helen Otis, gender male, birthday October 1st, 1980. Maybe that's not the combination, but that was in yellow, so his expression is ferocious. He seems to be in pain. He's still having a fever. Where to investigate next? Right, kitchen it is. The kitchen is spotless clean. Fridge. There are some ice cubes in it. These can cool down his body temperature. What's this? You find some clean towels in the kitchen cabinet. I can soak a towel in ice water and place it on the patient's forehead to cool him down. It's not really a patient, bro. I'm just saying. You return to the living room, wring out the excess water from the towel soaked in ice water and place it on his forehead. His ferocious expression gradually softens. You once again notice his fair skin and long eyelashes, and his slightly curly black hair. If you don't say he is a murderer, his sleeping face... his sleeping face looks very harmless now. After a while, he wakes up to the scent of your brewing cocoa and sits up on the couch. He looks a little shocked. He looks around quickly and seems to understand what is going on.
Why are you doing this?
I want to ask myself that too.
You saw me faint and didn't choose to run away. You're such a weirdo.
Okay, you are too. Is there anyone weirder than you in this house? You can't help but bitch about it. You seem to see the corners of his mouth rising slightly for a few seconds, and the atmosphere between you relaxes. He doesn't drink the cocoa you brewed for him. It seems that he is still a little wary of you. A little wary of me! He's the one that... Bro, not even gonna do it. Can you tell me who you are?
Bloody Painter. That's the name they gave me for my modus operandi. If you find it difficult to pronounce, you can call me BP.
BP it is. Even though what he told you was just a nickname, at least you know how to call him now. After the brief conversation on the sofa, he does not lock you back in the underground secret room. Perhaps staying to take care of him when he fell ill was enough to prove that you wouldn't run away. Don't really have a choice. You get up from the sofa and continue to look at the specimen decorations in the living room. He sits on the sofa, crosses his legs, picks up a book and starts reading.
By the way, you better not try to escape.
Oh yeah, because I can do that, can't I? I know that there's bear traps out there. If I try and do it, I'm gonna get decapitated, so fuck you, BP!
There are traps all around the cabin, and only I know how to get in and out safely.
Are you telling me because you care about me, or are you telling me to threaten me? That's where my issue is. You sit on the sofa. Soon, a wave of sleepiness comes over you. Okay. Today you fall asleep on the sofa in the living room, not in the cold underground secret room. Your survival rate increases. Day 5, morning. You see him busy cleaning in and out of the house early in the morning. I'll come help too. After finishing speaking, you pick up the rag and bucket and join the cleaning. But you can't really see where this almost spotless house needs to be cleaned. You're just taking a clean wet rag and wiping it on a clean cabinet. Do you usually love cleaning this much?
It would soon be covered with a layer of dust.
That's not what you said. That's just not what you said. It must be cleaned like this 1 or 2 times a week, otherwise it would soon be covered with a layer of dust. Although he doesn't talk much, his tone and voice give you a gentle feeling and don't make you feel nervous. You climb up the short ladder and wipe the high cabinets with a rag. Suddenly, a cockroach crawls out from the crack of the cabinet. You are so frightened that you lose your balance and fall backwards. And I get saved. You close your eyes. But what you get is not the pain of falling to the ground, but a warm feeling. Told ya. You open your eyes and find what he's holding you like you're a princess. He catches you with the same old cold expression on his face.
Are you alright?
Perhaps to resolve the awkwardness, he asks. I'm alright. It was just a cockroach. Hearing the word cockroach, he puts you down. I can just imagine him like in her hands like this and it's like cockroach. Ah! Just dropped her on the floor. He takes 2 steps back from the cabinet you just wiped and then says calmly,
Don't come near here yet.
Huh? Why?
It's dangerous.
The fuck you on about, bro? I'm literally living in a danger trap of a house. I go outside, I get impaled. What's dangerous about a fucking cockroach? You can't help but chuckle at the thought of a murderer being afraid of cockroaches. Fine, whatever you say. The interaction just now makes you feel a little warmth from this cold murderer. At least you see more of his reactions and expressions. This is the rare relaxation you have felt in these tense days. He could have let you fall off the ladder, but he rushed over to catch you. Somehow you feel that after these few days of getting along, maybe now you both have different ideas about each other than you originally had. It was only a clear relationship between a murderer who wanted to hunt and a prey who was trying to escape. But now it has an extra layer of friendship, causing the interaction between you and have an indescribable sense of dissonance. Just when you pick up the old newspaper to wipe the windows, you find a police car parked on the road in the distance. 2 police officers get out of the car and keep looking towards the cabin. At some point, BP is already behind you looking out the window with you.
Wait for a second.
And then he walks out of the door to talk to the police officers.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Are you Mr. Otis?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever seen these people around here? The police officer takes some photos from his pocket.
Have these people committed a crime and are running away?
No, these people are the missing people around this area.
I haven't seen them before, but wolves and bears often appear around here.
Can we check out your cabin?
Yes, come in.
Oh wow, does he actually trust? BP behaves very kindly and polite. After speaking, he leads the way for the police officers.
Please, follow my footsteps. I placed some traps near the cabin to protect against wild wolves and bears. You don't want to step on them.
The police officers enter the house and see you. Hello, this is...
An old friend who came to visit me recently.
You greet the police officers with a smile and a nod. At the same time, a police officer quickly looks through the missing person photos in his hand. Then he puts the photo back in his pocket. It seems that your disappearance has not been discovered by anyone yet. You stand next to the bookcase blocking the entrance to the secret room. After searching around, the police find nothing unusual and leave. His trust in you increases. Bro, I didn't even get the option there. That was the prime situation. He was defenseless. They had weapons. We could have got him arrested. I know it's leading more to a romantic type of thing, but logically in my brain, this is where my plan would come to fruition. Like I said at the beginning, you pounce when he least expects you to. Yeah? That is the perfect opportunity. We may not kill him, but we will get him captured so he doesn't kill others, and we get free. For some stupid reason, that wasn't an option. That should have been an option. Today you still sleep on the couch in the living room instead of in the cold basement. Half asleep, you hear the sound of someone approaching. When you notice it, the person seems to be very close to you. You pretend to be asleep and the person just looks at your sleeping face quietly. The man stretches out his hand and takes it back just as he is about to touch your hair. He turns around and leaves. Day 6, morning. You see him busy in the kitchen for a while. Then breakfast is served in front of you. There is a piece of toast with just the right crispiness on the large round plate, a poached egg on top of the toast, and some lettuce salad. The plating looks delicious. The drink is a cup of freshly brewed hot cocoa. The cutlery he gives you is still a round plastic fork with no offensive features. You sit at the dining table and start eating while he sits on the chair opposite you and flips through a book. It's still snowing outside, and listening to the squeaking sound of the fireplace, the atmosphere in the cabin is particularly comfortable. As long as you ignore the fact that you're in the same room with the murderer who kidnapped you, everything is really relaxing. You look at him, who is full of mystery, and some questions arise in your mind. And you decide to... Okay, I'll save... I don't know, like, I don't think he would kill me, so I'm gonna go more ask loudly. I have a question! You say with a super loud voice. Huh?
I'm not Van Gogh. I have ears to hear. What is it?
What book do you usually read?
I would read some anatomy and taxidermy books, but today is different.
What are you reading today?
The Truman Show.
Very weird book to read. What is the book like? Have you never heard of? I haven't read the book. I've watched the film.
The whole world that the protagonist lives in, including himself, is all just someone's creation. Everything that happens is watched by the audience, and there is no privacy at all. But he is completely unaware that he is in such a large theater. Very ridiculous, right? I can't imagine this to happen in reality, or to me. If our world was like the Truman Show, how would the audience view the current situation?
Right, so I don't really understand the concept of this one. Must be unforgivable. Must be excited.
I understand. After all, normal people cannot forgive me for such behavior.
But you don't believe yourself to have done anything wrong.
But I don't care what they think. I just want to complete my work. I have always been a selfish man.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's going to be any relativity to that one, the alternate option. I think it would have been the same answer. But do you know what? I'm going to go back. I know I want to try and see what he says if we say the other one.
Excited? Why?
They may be attracted by your charm and want to be killed by you. That went in a really weird turn.
Incomprehensible. But what a bunch of weirdos with good taste.
It's hard to tell from his poker face whether he's seriously boasting or joking. So I didn't have any difference, but I did have a different dialogue option, so I appreciate that. Pick up the book next to you and read it. You picked up the book next to you and started flipping through. It's a book about the possibility of having a completely opposite version of yourself in a parallel world. If there's a complete opposite version of you, what do you think it would be like?
Oh, that book. Let me think. Probably a guy wearing a burgundy coat and always having a smile on his face.
Why is it a burgundy coat?
Because I like blue. If he is the opposite of me, he should like red, right?
Okay. Why red? Okay. What work are you... That is like just a strange thing to say the opposite of blue is red. Like at the end of the day, the opposite of blue is any color. It's not distinguishable by an opposite. It has multiple opposites. What work are you going to use me for? You ask bravely. He looks up at you for a moment.
I was going to make you into some kind of doll at first.
Was.
Your eyes are beautiful, but if they are left alone, they will become rotten and sunken. So I would like to dig your eyes out and put them in a glass jar and soak them in formalin to preserve them. Glass beads will be placed in the empty eye sockets to replace the eyes. You look very pleasing to the eye, so I would also like to keep the head intact.
I don't know what to say. I'm gonna save at that point because I want to look at both options. Save, but let's go with the more comforting option for. Now let's go with the
Sorry, I was so immersed in talking about art that I didn't consider your feelings.
Don't think you really did anyway. From an artistic point of view, it's a good idea, but you're describing my real corpse. It still scares me.
Be careful next time.
Huh? There's still a next time? Why did he say at first? Has his mind changed? You're curious, but you don't have the guts to ask any further. He's disappeared. I'm gonna go back to the... see what the other option would be. I corrupted the save. Shit. About potted plants. I saw many potted plants on the shelves in the living room, but why were they all withered?
I have tried my best. I don't know why they always die.
Okay. Day 6 noon. It's noontime. To thank you for making breakfast for me today, let me make you lunch in return. He frowns at you with an expression like, are you out of your mind? Don't worry, you said there are traps outside the house, only you know how to get in and out normally. Even if I resist you with a knife, I can't escape.
Okay, but I'll keep an eye on you. Don't try anything stupid.
Okay, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna kill you and then just live out my life in this house because I'm too stupid to just decapitate myself? Great. As for what to cook and the ingredients, well, a bad idea flashes through your head and curiosity makes you ask. Cannibal. Do you eat human flesh?
No, why would I do that? I just use human bodies as materials for making art, and I never think about eating them.
Thank God for that. I thought you... Murderers all had some degree of cannibalism.
Let's put it this way. Do you eat paint and painting tools? Just because I kill people to use as materials to make works doesn't mean I will eat them. Also, I'm different from those who have fun committing a crime and kill purely for the sake of killing. Don't confuse me with that kind of unprincipled guy.
Just curious then, what is your drive?
I wouldn't do anything unless necessary. You are here only because you witnessed the crime scene.
I see. After hearing this, you decide to cook a common dish. Dude, why? Why give me the option? Because I want to do that option now. I know it's probably a bad option, but I still want to do it. Save. Let's get rid of this option because we screwed that option up. I'm gonna come back to that one. I wanna do a common dish. You look at the ingredients in the refrigerator. There are eggs, tomatoes, white rice, and some curry powder on the shelf. Okay, I've decided. You turn on the oven and start to cook. BP watches the entire production process. Rather than worrying about you escaping, he's more worried about you blowing up the kitchen. Soon after, a normal curry omelette, rice was served. Eh. That's a common ingredient. He stares at the omelette rice without saying a word. Don't worry, there's no poison. Weren't you watching the whole process? He starts to move after you finish speaking. He takes a spoonful of omelette rice and puts it in his mouth. What do you think?
It's surprisingly quite delicious.
What's wrong?
Nothing. It's just that no one has cooked for me for a long time.
I can make you more if you like. You had a fairly pleasant afternoon. Day 6, late at night. Okay. You are woken up from your sleep by the man. His face is close to you and his blue eyes are staring at you. What's wrong? You sit up on the couch and rub your eyes.
Got to go.
Got to go?
I've noticed something unusual about the number of police cars patrolling nearby recently. They must have some relevant evidence and are doubting it. It is very likely there is an ambush outside. It's snowing heavily outside now, and I think it's time to leave now. Come with me or not. It's your choice.
So you're giving me the choice to leave or go with you? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That just asked me. Oh, right. It's... What? What do you want me to do? Huh? I'm fine with both choices, but I need to look me in the eyes and tell me, what do you prefer me to do? Wait, that was a different option. I've just pressed escape. That wasn't the both options. You stare at his eyes.
I prefer.
He hesitates to speak and looks away, looking like he thinks he's thinking about something. Well, your behavior makes him a little panicked, and he doesn't seem to be good at this kind of situation. You notice that his ears are flushed, and this unexpected reaction makes you want to tease him a little bit. What do you prefer me to do?
I prefer.
After a moment's silence, he slowly speaks.
Let you come with me.
He tries hard to look you in the eyes and speaks his
We'll
thoughts.
set off early tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Follow my footsteps.
Why wear the mask? You seriously drawing attention to yourself, Brett. You follow the shoe prints he leaves in the snow and finally succeed in avoiding the many traps around. Just as you are walking through the forest, you hear movement behind you. Freeze! In the snowstorm, several policemen who are lying in an ambush chase after you. You ignore them and keep running forward. Bang! A gunshot shoots across the sky and you feel a pain in your left calf. You are shot. He turns to look at you as if he's considering whether to leave you. Run! You yell at him, but he approaches you. And he holds you in his arms. You feel a warmth on your head. He kisses your forehead. You feel the time freeze at this moment. The kiss is almost like a goodbye. Then he leaves you and runs forward, disappearing into the heavy snow. Fuck you, bruh! You are later taken back to the police for questioning. You say throughout the process that you were a victim. On that note, you're not lying. You don't reveal any unnecessary details. Since there is no relevant evidence to prove that you are an accomplice, the police can only release you after a long period of interrogation. After that, 2 years passed. Now you live in a cheap little apartment. You live in an ordinary life as if what happened 2 years ago had never happened. Today is Halloween, and every household nearby has put some thought into making decorations, but for you, it's just another day at work. When you return to your apartment after getting off work in the evening, the strange thing is that as soon as you open the door, you feel a gust of wind. You remember that you closed the window before going out. Just when you are about to close the window, you find a gift left by someone on the table next to the windowsill. A red rose. You don't know why, but you have a feeling that BP has been here. Every Halloween after that, you received a rose at your residence. It's like a once-a-year greeting. Although he says nothing, the rose seems to tell everything. Although you have certain similarities, you are two people from different worlds after all. Perhaps living your own life this way is the best outcome for both of you. Good ending. Different worlds. I did not expect that. Okay, I suppose. I was going to do one ending, but this is really like, I don't know what it is. Like, honestly, before YouTube, I never ever played a visual novel. It just didn't seem like it was my intriguing thing. And the funny thing is if you watch my earlier videos, I was always talking about, oh, I want games with stories. I like the lack of stories in gaming that I have consistently played on itch was always an issue. Then I started playing visual novels. And they are some of the most well-written, well-thought, well-artistically designed games that you can moderately play. But I want to see if I can get more endings. So let's see. Right, okay, so I'm back here because this is my closest save, but I want to see this. Can I try cooking human flesh? Huh?
Are you serious?
Apparently.
Why do you do that?
I'm quite curious about the taste of human flesh. Haven't you ever been curious about it?
No, never thought of it.
This also helps you get rid of unnecessary material, doesn't it?
I do have some useless cuts of meat in the basement freezer.
Great.
By the way, I won't eat it.
He says, but still takes you to the basement to open the freezer and takes out a piece of human thigh meat. You turn on the oven and start to cook. BP watches the entire production process rather than worrying about you escaping. He's more worried about you blowing up the kitchen. Not long after, a roasted human thigh steak appears on the table. He stares at the human steak on the table and has no intention of eating. What's wrong?
You go ahead and eat. I have no appetite.
Fine. You cut the human steak into a size that fits your mouth. Put a piece into your mouth. Huh? The human flesh tastes firm, very chewy, and has a distinct beefy flavor. Tastes a bit like venison. Although it's delicious, it's difficult to chew, so you chew it for a very long time. Huh? BP frowns and sits aside, watching you eating with gusto. It's really delicious. Wouldn't you like some?
No.
No. He continues to watch you eating with gusto. Although, at this point, your fork accidentally falls on the ground. You bend down to pick it up. Pick up the fork that had fallen to the bottom of the table, then raise your head to continue eating. You look at your plate and notice that there seems to be a piece of meat missing.
Not bad.
Did you say something?
Nothing.
He licks his fingertips and says, "You had a fairly pleasant afternoon." Okay. Okay.
Hey.
So it automatically
Gotta go.
asks me to save at this point.
Unusual about. They must have some relevant evidence. It's snowing heavily outside now. Come with me or not. It's your choice.
And then it pops up the save now. Here we go. So we'll do an automatic save. Stay, go with him. Stay, go with him. Stay, go with him. Stay. I want to stay and live a normal life. You think that this is crazy journey should not go on. You think that this crazy journey should not go on anymore. Okay.
I understand.
Suddenly his face slowly moves closer to you. Just when he's about to touch you, he takes a piece of cloth and covers your mouth and nose hard. After struggling hard for 2 to 3 minutes, your consciousness gradually becomes blurred. Bro, when you open your eyes, you're back in the basement again. You are tied to a chair and you can't move your body. You try to break free, but you fail. The rope is tied very firmly. You hear someone's footsteps getting closer to the door. The door opens. He walks in slowly, holding something behind his back. He moves closer and closer to you until he's at your ear. You can hear his breathing and your own heartbeat. You close your eyes out of fear. You can feel that he's scratching your skin softly with the back of a knife, and the cold metal stimulates your nerves. His palm is holding the back of your neck through his glove, as if he's studying your face and thinking about where to cut it. Fear boils inside you, tears filling in your eyes unconsciously. Suddenly, he fiercely holds up the back of your neck, forcing you to look at him in the eyes. He slowly speaks with a soft tone in your
If you
ear.
stay here, you might reveal my information to the police.
So you're giving me no.
The risk of keeping you alive is too high. But even if I say I want you to come with me, a normal person like you will leave me one day, eventually. I quite like you, and if it's you, I would like to turn you into a work and put you somewhere I can see you every day. It's you who made me realize that I might be more selfish than I thought. Don't worry. I'll saw your head off as material for artwork and visit you every day. Thank you for spending these few days with me. I felt quite at ease. We'll have more time to spend together in the future.
Oh! The red flower flows from the neck. Day 7. Now you can neither feel or think. Everything becomes dark. Oh, your body and your skull are separated. He finds a new place after he takes your head and leaves the cabin. He carefully makes your head into a specimen and your eyes are replaced with glass beads. You are made into a beautiful but also creepy doll, and he visits you often. You become his favorite work, and you are with him forever in the form of art. Good ending. That's a good ending? Bruh, how is that a good ending? Is that a good ending? Is that like when she went into this experience, was she like, huh? That's a good way for me to go, you know? I'm happy with that. Like, you know? Like oh god. Whatever like, okay, so let's just say this. What do you want me to do? Okay, so that's exactly the same.
I prefer.
Do nothing.
If I take you with me, you might become a burden in the process.
Okay.
But if I don't take you, it will be even worse if you reveal my information to the police.
This is new information. Calmly analyzes the situation.
So you might as well come with me.
Ha!
Follow my footsteps.
Follow You follow the shoe prints he leaves on the snow and finally succeed in avoiding the many traps around the cabinet. Okay, this seems exactly the same. Freeze. In the snowstorm, several police who are lying in ambush chase after you. You ignore them and keep running forward. Bang, a gunshot shoots across the sky and you feel a pain in your calf. You are shot. He turns to look at you as if he's considering whether to leave you. He approaches you and he holds you in his arms. Then you feel a pain in your back. All this because of one decision I made. I decided to do nothing instead of hold his hand. Then the hand he is holding around you from behind has a sharp blade. He pierces your body with that sharp blade over and over again until you lose consciousness. Everything becomes dark. Until just now you realize that you chose to follow because I want to follow him here. I'm just gonna save because I want to see the options to the last bit as well. I want to follow him. You wake up from a nightmare and you are lying on a comfortable bed. You look around and find yourself in a cozy looking room with specimens hanging on the wall. Huh?
Are you alright?
What? The man asks as he opens the door. I'm alright. 2 years after that. That night 2 years ago, even after you were shot in the leg, the two of you continued to run forward in the snow. Fortunately, the wind and snow were strong enough to cover you up your whereabouts, so you were never caught. After that, you came to another remote mountainous area and rented another cabin to settle here.
If you're fine, get up quickly. I will need your help in today's creation.
Yes, teacher. But
Bring
he
me
stabbed
the
me.
bone saw.
He stabbed me. Okay.
Iron in the blood will trigger a luminol reaction. Any area with bloodstains outside should be wiped with hydrogen peroxide at least 3 times. Wiping bloodstained areas with hydrogen peroxide reduces the luminescence, but when it's dark, it still glows obviously to the naked eye. So, try not to leave bloodstains anywhere other than the basement.
Got it.
Good girl. You're learning fast.
He teaches you carefully every step and every detail. You assist him in cleaning up crime scenes and assisting him in completing his creations. During the day, you pretend to be good citizens under false identities, and at night, in a place where people can't see you, you create creations that are outraged by both humans and gods. The paranoia of art, the clean and neat killing method, the cautious and intelligent thoughts, the neat and invisible crime scenes. You are obsessed with everything about him, and he is the person you long to follow. You long to become the second him under his leadership. He is a good mentor. Rather than pampering his disciple, he prefers to use guidance to let you learn freely. You have become a pawn that he is proud of. For him, he would do anything. Until an accident occurred while committing a crime, his legs were permanently injured and he could only walk with crutches since then. He's already in his 40s at this time, but you feel that the traces of time make his elegance even more charming. Just when you think that the bloody painter's evil deeds have come to an end...
Take it. I have nothing left to teach you.
Teacher, what do you mean by that?
You seem to like this mask very much. I don't think I'll use it anymore, so I'll give it to you. What to do next is up to you.
He gives his mask to you. You look at the mask in your hand and seem to understand the meaning of the teacher's words. You think to yourself that maybe your encounter with him years ago was just for this moment. I won't disappoint you. Legend continues. Good ending, master and disciple. I'm pretty sure I got one more ending. Yeah. So there's 14 in total. I seem to have got all the bad endings. It's just this one eluding ending. He and I are the same kind. You wake up from a nightmare and you are lying on a comfortable bed. You look around to find yourself in a cozy looking room with okay, so...
Are you alright? I heard someone talk very frequently in her sleep.
Okay. This is slightly different now. I was just having a nightmare. He sits on the edge of the bed and strokes your cheek, his forehead touching yours gently.
Don't worry, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing more dangerous than me here.
He is right. If you are just an ordinary person, you should be worried about the murderer living under the same roof as you now, rather than a nightmare. But you are not an ordinary person. You are as cold-blooded and emotionless as him. You two are equally evil, but this makes you both find a sense of belonging in the other. Living with others made him feel uncomfortable at first, but living with a crazy person like him doesn't make him feel uncomfortable, because you can always quickly know what the other person is thinking, and you also know clearly where the other person's boundary is. You live under the same roof, but you don't interfere with each other. He continues to commit crimes, and you sometimes participate on a whim. You have each other by the short hairs, and you know that if you expose each other's crimes to the public, then you will be finished too. So you more or less cover each other. You have a strange symbiotic relationship where you sometimes dislike each other and sometimes deceive each other, but you also have absolute trust in each other. Two madmen keeping each other company. Madmen's house. Bruh! That was all the endings! Jeez! Oh, that was so good. So good. Like, that was such a weird story, and it's like, I really would have liked there to be a fifth ending where we actually manipulated him into setting ourselves free, killing him, and maybe turning into the murderer he was. Like, I know it's very similar, but like, I would love to have that story of he thought we were some little princess, and in the end we were smarter and we outsmarted him. That would be a cool concept to use. Or like, you know, just a normal escape ending, but that's basic. No one really cares about that one. I really enjoyed this though, and I really am enjoying these visual novels. I got maybe another 2 in the line now for hopefully this week, but really enjoyed this, and I hope you guys did too. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell button to be notified when my videos go up next. Also, please be sure to hit that like button and give me a comment. Tell me what you thought of Bloody Peter Dating Sim. Really cool game. Loved it. But yeah, thank you very much guys, and I'll see you in the next one.